Good morning and welcome to the 9th EuroPerio here in Amsterdam. We are here at the Dentsply Sirona booth, and the first counter I want to show to you is the implant counter, where you can get deep insights on the AstroTech implant system on Ankylos and Xive. On my left I can show you the bone regeneration materials, where you can learn about augmentation and which materials to use. Our next station is the digital station. Here we have a CEREC system with the OmniCam, where you can play with the OmniCam a little bit. And on the right hand side you can learn about the Simplant software in the newest version 18 and how to plan implants digitally. And also at this counter you can have a look at the new Atlantis patient-specific abutments and superstructures. And now we are standing in front of the Dentsply Sirona classroom, and I will allow you to have a sneak preview of the setup inside. Unfortunately, it will not be possible for you to participate in this course unless you are here in Amsterdam. Here at the Dentsply classroom you can learn about regenerative solutions and do a hands-on with Symbios bone graft material and pre-hydrated collagen membranes. Also, on Friday and Saturday, you can experience the SmartFix concept with OsseoSpeed profile implants by yourself. Here we are at the Dentsply Sirona preventive counter, where you can learn about preventing and treating intraoral diseases and about the newest technology with the Cavitron system, as for instance here with a nice touch screen where you can easily change the functions, and with the handpiece with a 360-degree swivel handpiece. After you have learned about science, you can refresh yourself here at the Dentsply Sirona smoothie counter with a lovely smoothie, or you can even sign up right next to it to the workshops in the classroom. Here behind me you see the stage where the live interviews are performed, and from 12 o'clock onwards they will be broadcasted on Facebook.
Thank you for sharing this with us, Dirk. You can see there's a lot going on and we have a lot of activities here. During the live talks, we will cover different topics in each of our broadcasts. And today, let's start with recreating nature, solutions for your regenerative needs. So now I would like to introduce my first guest. Dr. Thomas Hanser is an oral surgeon and a periodontist and has a private clinic in Augsburg in Germany. He has a close collaboration with several universities and is involved in a lot of different research. So Thomas, a warm welcome to us here at the live talks.
Thank you very much.
So with your experience, I'm sure that you have seen a lot of different regenerative solutions and how they really can make a difference for dental professionals and for patients. So how can you improve patient outcome? How can we improve patient outcome and recreate natural results with regenerative materials, according to you?
Well, to be successful in a regeneration process, we have to achieve a symbiosis between the techniques and the clinical strategies, the grafting material and the surrounding biology. Meaning, to be successful, we have to, respect some biological rules, which is hermetic closure, which is stability of the graft. And once it comes to a surgical procedure, we have to be able to react on different clinical situations in terms of clinical approaches, in terms of biologic response of our body. So we have to be flexible and we have to be able to react on the situation using different materials, different techniques.
And according to you, Thomas, what are the most important factors when choosing a bone graft material, being able to meet these prerequisites then?
Well, depending on the needs of the patient, meaning depending on the clinical situation, we should be able to react, and there are different options to actually regenerate missing tissue. This can be done by a touchless bone, so we should have the instruments to harvest bone safely and predictably. We should have options in terms of biomaterial of different origin. We should have the possibility to stabilize the biomaterial with different membranes, which can be resorbable, which can be non-resorbable, to meet the biological expectations of the defect itself and, of course, the needs of our patient.
Yeah, and is biodegradation, meaning that the bone graft material resorbs over time, is that an important factor? And if so, why?
Well, once we decide to use a biomaterial, I think it's very important to think about the character of this material in a biological but also in an ethical point of view. Basically, what we ask for from a regeneration material is the fact that it should be biocompatible to be like supporting the regeneration process.
Yeah.
The characters should be very close to natural bone. It should be creating a stable scaffold. It should be stimulating the ingrowth of cells, of blood vessels. It should be also conductive. And coming to your point, my ideal idea of a biomaterial is that it is going to be replaced by natural bone within the time.
And so, considering that the different options available, would you choose a FICO graft? And why would you do that in case you would?
Well, people today are becoming more and more critical about the material a surgeon is using. We are informing the patient about the different origins of biomaterials, which can be coming from the animal, which can be of plant origin. And of course, a graft which is of plant origin, like the algipore, which is in clinical use since more than 30 years, it is greatly accepted by our patients, and it offers us all like biological options as well. So it seems to be a material which is well received by the patient itself because of its origin. And we have still the option to offer them other materials also from animals or from like synthetic origin.
So you see that there is an increasing awareness then from the patients with regards to the origin. They are actually asking for this?
There's definitely an increasing request about the need to offer our patients not only animal-based but also like of plant origin.
Yeah.
This might be vegetarians who are more interested in not having animal products. This might be for religious reasons. So there are many factors which might influence decision from the surgeon's point of view, but also from the patient's point of view.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe we're moving into where patient influence is more important in the treatments in general.
We should be flexible in what to offer our patients, and this is from a biological point of view, but also from an ethical point of view. And the more options we have, and the Symbios range is offering all solutions from autologous bone towards xenografts, towards plant origin grafts. So this is what I'm asking for from a portfolio to be able to react on the patient and on the biological needs of the area we are going to graft.
Thank you. Today we're running a series of hands-on sessions in the breaks where you are lecturing on bone augmentation techniques. Let's find out more about this via our reporter Dirk Drews.
We are here at the Dentsply Sirona classroom with Dr. Zoltan Andrashazi, and he will now share with us some secrets on this workshop and what will be performed here. Zoltan, what are all these items for?
We will have a kind of workshop here, but it's not in the sense of learning some new surgical things or something. It's just kind of touch and feel. Our customers can unpack and use algipore, one of our bone grafting materials. The one hand and the other hand our prehydrated membrane, which is a pretty new product. So they just try it on a model.
Talking about this membrane, does this stick together when you use it?
No, it's stiff enough, so no problems with collapsing.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you, Dirk, for sharing the interesting view from this. So, Thomas, is there anything you would like to add with regards to this hands-on sessions? Any comments from you?
Well, I think it's always great to give the participants the possibility to really feel the material and to work with the material him or herself. To me, it's important to share both, which is the clinical background and the scientific background, but also give people the chance to really perform the grafting procedures. And such a workshop is a nice, possibility to exchange clinical, scientific, but also practical experience. So I very much enjoy being here.
Yeah. And so, what would your advice be to up-and-coming dentists? How can they become successful within different regeneration, guided bone regeneration techniques? How would you like to advise them?
Well, what I think is very important is actually that they are increasing their experience by taking part in postgraduate training programs to become a specialist in perio treatment, in oral surgery, and in implantology, to have a better understanding of the biological processes in terms of bone regeneration.
Yeah. Yeah, and this could be a start then.
This could be a start to, get more confidence in surgical procedures, step by step, to make it, a predictable procedure, and to enjoy our job, which is a great passion for me, and which is a pleasure to sharing during this show here.
Yeah, sounds good. So as you mentioned, the AlgaPore material has been around for 30 years, and it has been documented in more than 60 publications.
Yes.
And one of the latest studies come from Dr. Fouad Khoury, whom I know you have a long-term collaboration with. And so in this study, Dr. Khoury showed very good long-term results for a layered sinus lifting technique with AlgaPore and Sive implants. And immediate loading, I think, in most of the cases, and a success rate of 99.5%, and good long-standing maintenance of the vertical height. So what are your reflections on these results with your background and experience?
Well, I'm very happy that this publication was finally done, because it beautifully shows us the possibility how to use the biological potential of our body in using both, which is the autogenous bone, but also in using grafting materials of plant origin. What I like about the technique is the fact that we are stimulating the biological response by our body, but using a space-maintaining material as the AlgaPore, which you mentioned is in clinical use since more than 30 years. There's so much experience with this material. And the beautiful thing is, in fact, that it is going to be replaced by autogenous bone within the years. And by this matter of fact, we are able to increase the quality of the tissue surrounding the implants, making it more resistant in the long run in terms of biological response, and especially in tissue stability. So the combination of autogenous bone and this AlgaPore is giving us an option to offer our patients a long-term clinical and also aesthetic result, which is very important to us in our daily work.
So with this kind of technique, then you can actually support the ingrowth of the patient's own bone and the resorption of the AlgaPore material. That's clearly visible.
Exactly. So due to the structure of the AlgaPore with outer and inner pores, we are able to stimulate the ingrowth of cells, of blood vessels. The material has a huge osteoconductive potential. It is stimulating new bone formation. So within a short period of time, you can actually find these particles being beautifully integrated and surrounded by new bone formation. And even better, within the years, it's going to be completely replaced by vital and autogenous bone.
Which sounds great, definitely. So you will be one of the keynote speakers tomorrow in the Inspiration Talks. Could you please give a summary or an idea of what you will be talking about there for the viewers?
Well, once it comes to a surgical procedure, we need to be able to react on different clinical situations. So my intention about my talk tomorrow will be to show different clinical situations, difficult situations, which are, using different approaches, different materials. I will be showing cases using the AlgaPore in combination with membranes, how to create stability, how to stimulate the natural response of our body. I will be talking about sinus lifting procedures. I will be talking about three-dimensional reconstructions, how to rebuild bone vertically and laterally in demanding situations, for example, in the mandible. And I will also be talking about aesthetic solutions, how to rebuild hard and soft tissue in the aesthetic zone in 3 dimensions to have the chance to place an implant into a proper implant prosthetic position, to have an individualized prosthetic solution finally.
So it really sounds like there are a wide range of options of actually making life better for our patients and preparing for a good prosthetic and satisfying solution in the very end by a lot of different bone regenerative techniques then.
Absolutely. I mean, we as a surgeon, we should be able to react on different clinical situations by using different techniques. There is not one solution for all situations. We should be flexible. This is like our approach, and we should be flexible in the material to use. We should have different options in biomaterials, in membrane techniques, different origins, different characters of materials. And all of this, once we meet the symbiosis between the clinical approach, our strategies, well, the biomaterial, the grafting material, and the biological surrounding, we can perform better and we can be much more successful in what we do. And we are happy to be able to offer this to our patients.
Yes, for the best outcome of the patients in the long run. Well, thank you very much, Thomas, for joining me here in Live Talks. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
This was the first of our 4 Live Talk sessions. It will be available on the Facebook page in case you would like to review it or share it with a friend. You can also join our next session today at 4:10 Amsterdam time, where we will address on the virtual patient, digital implant solutions and workflow, and the guest then will be Dr. Misha Krebs. So thank you for watching and hope to see you soon.